Step 5, are you investing in the right marketing channels? Okay. There's all kinds of stuff out there. You're in the B2B space, so you should be investing in both inbound and outbound marketing. I mean, we're an inbound marketing company, but we employ outbound marketing tactics, and we have found those to be successful. So don't think that you're going to sit back and let the internet do all the work for you. You've got to combine inbound and outbound together if you want to grow. So, are you in all the right places? You know, outbound is cold calling, you know, email marketing, any disruptive media. Inbound is people, you're bringing people in from the internet, and that's how they do that. We think it should be immediate. You know, the Pearson Auto Group is a client of ours, all their stores here in Florida. And we got their response rate dialed down to 5, it's supposed to be 5 minutes. If a lead comes in through the internet, they got to get back to that customer within 5 minutes, because we found that the average consumer goes to 1.6 dealerships to buy a car. So if you're not that dealership, you've probably lost the opportunity. So if you're not the first one to respond, you might lose that opportunity. So I'd say immediate, as immediate as you can make it. Okay? Because you know, you might not be the only one they're checking out. Yeah, and it's going to vary by the quality of the lead. You know, if somebody's commenting on social, you know, that's probably more of a slow play. If somebody is submitted a contact form or something like that on your website and is seeking, you know, an interaction, that's immediate. Okay. If somebody downloads a document or a report from your website, that's a bit more slow play. What we have found is that on average, the quality of the inbound lead is not as good as the quality of the outbound lead, because you're choosing your outbound prospecting, right? You're choosing who you're calling. You're not choosing people coming in. And so that could be, it's going to cover the gamut. And our strategy is to try to communicate what our target market is as best possible, so those that don't meet it don't interact. But you got to sift through it and find that diamond and find that 1 in 20 that hit the mark for you. Well, it depends on your target market. It depends on where they are, how they behave. It goes back to that comment, are you connecting them in all the right places? All right, so having said that, we have an active outbound calling program for our company, and we have found success with it. Okay, we do a reasonable. This is outbound. What I'm doing right now, speaking engagements, cold calling, email marketing, showing up at events in organizations where your target market shows up. I think in the B2B space, those are the major plays. And in fact, when we have researched, when we have dug into our own data about where our business comes from, we have found 3 things: outbound marketing, online marketing, referrals from existing clients, raving fans, and the Virginia Council of CEOs, because I'm very active in the Virginia Council of CEOs. It depends on what outbound tactic. Okay, if you're talking about outbound calling, we want to get in front of you. That's the call to action. If you're talking about email marketing, we want you to come to our website and download some information, get active on our website, because we're tracking you when you come to our website, and we're scoring you when you're coming to our website, if we know you. Okay, I mean that's the beauty of somebody giving their information to you when they come to your website by downloading a white paper or some kind of report. They go into your database. If you have the right software, you can track their activity. If they come back 2 weeks later, download something else, come back a week later, they're starting to get interested, and it might be time to make a phone call, or it might be time to send an email to that person or whatever. Okay, so that's the call to action there. If it's networking, then it's probably visibility and branding, and back to your website type stuff. If you go to webstrategiesinc.com, what will pop up, as non-intrusive as possible, but what will pop up is, would you like to download our 2015 digital marketing report? You can say no. A lot of people say yes. We get about, I'd say somewhere in the 15 to 20 people a day say yes. And then they go into our database, and we know when they're coming back. Now if you do that, we won't bother you, okay? But we'll know when you come, because we have software that will track and score you every time you come back to our website. So we'll know how interested you are. And that's how we help kind of nurture you through that buying funnel. We might send you a piece of content, special. That's a good question. So first of all, in terms of unique visitors a day to our website, right now I'm going to say it's about 200 a day. Okay, we get about 200 a day, unique visitors. I'm guessing probably 10% of that are robots. I haven't looked specifically at that data, but I'm guessing that's about right.
There's a way to tell?
Oh yeah, yeah. Go into your Google Analytics, if you have it, and you should have it. Look at source of traffic, and you'll see you'll see some names you don't sound familiar, and what I'll do is I'll see something that I've never heard of those people before. Let me go check them out online, and they're some kind of data collection agency or something like that. Okay, first of all, let me qualify. Intrusive is a kind of a bad word. We're not intrusive at all. I mean, we're very much, here's what we have. Take it. If you want to work with us, great. If you don't, that's okay. If you want to work with somebody else, that's fine. So we're very much giving. That's our approach. Right? But we do track you, and we do offer good content, but I wouldn't consider that intrusive. Okay.
And I wasn't
No, I know you are. I know. Now, no, I didn't take it that way. So there are other tactics to get to those people who don't want to be tracked and stuff like that. It could be outbound calling. It could be speaking events, developing content and pushing it out in social. Okay, I don't know. My company writes an article every week for the Richmond Times-Dispatch. And we push that content out on the social networks as a means to increase our visibility, drive people back to our website and things like that. So those, just other outbound ways. Yeah, we're a professional services firm, like probably many of you are. Professional services firm. We sell to other businesses. We sell professional services to other businesses. Clients in that space want to know 4 things. They want to know, can you solve my problem? What's the expertise of your people? Who have you worked with? And what kind of references do you have? If you're in a professional services business, those are the 4 questions you better be answering on your website, in your marketing materials, in your messaging, etc. Those 4 questions. Do you have the capabilities to solve my problem? What's the level of expertise of your people? Who have you worked with? What kind of references do you have? So if you go to webstrategiesinc.com, you'll see our people on the front page, you'll see case studies on the front page, and you'll see who we've worked with on the front page. And hopefully the message you'll get from the home page is, we generate leads and sales. So if your problem is you want to grow your business, So we try to answer all 4 questions on our homepage. This really answers the question. This is a summary of the 5 elements. So if you're smart and experienced and have the time, you could do a lot of this stuff yourself. But most of business owner Bobs, are so hung up in their business they don't have time to do this stuff themselves, so they hire firms like mine and others. If you do these things, then you might want to invest in a platform like HubSpot. Okay, HubSpot is an inbound marketing platform. We use it. We sell it as part of our solutions. And it tracks you. It helps you nurture those leads through the buying funnel. It scores you. It's got a CRM. It's a beast. Okay, and it's good and it's affordable. I'm not sure I'd invest in that too early until you get traction. But once you get some traction, then I would encourage you to consider something like that, because it is the future of inbound. I'm not aware of any other technologies. I am aware of strategies and tactics. And a huge one is content. You got to start writing. If you're selling to other businesses and that buying journey is 70% anonymous, they got to be consuming stuff you've written. So they know that you are an expert, and they know that you are, should be invited to the table, so to speak, to participate in the process. Writing content, having a blog, if you're in the B2B space, man, you got to have a blog, and you got to be writing. I encourage you to write at least every week. Good stuff. Good stuff that addresses the personas of your target market. Don't write crap. Don't make stuff up. Know what is important to your target market, their personas, and start writing to that. For example, we do fractional sales management for companies as well as digital marketing. Business owners, a lot of them who are technical, or they really understand their space really well, and they're wizards at that space, but they don't understand the sales process. They often look for, how can I have a good sales process? What should my incentive compensation plan be? How do I train my salespeople to generate revenue? Okay? And we do those kinds of things. So if you go to our blog, the last few articles I've written, sales incentive compensation plans, setting up a sales process, all those things, because that's what's important to my target market. So content writing, critical, and then pushing that out on social channels, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Google+, etc. So no other technologies, unfortunately, just kind of hard work. Absolutely. There's a thing called LinkedIn Pulse, where it's like LinkedIn's blog, and you could take your content, if you write a blog post, put it onto LinkedIn as well. Okay? And then it's shared throughout worldwide. So that's what I meant by kind of getting it out on the social channels as well. We are not a technology company. We are technology agnostic. We have aligned with Google because Google is Google when it comes to digital marketing. Here's a little factoid. Did you know that about 96% of Google's revenue is advertising? Remarkable. Huge technology company, but they really generate revenue through advertising. Nevertheless, Google's a beast. I'm not sure if Google's in a dictionary yet as a verb. Just Google it, type thing. But it gives us, we've been vetted by Google, and we are all into Google, both in terms of their analytics data, their search data, and all this kind of stuff, because we believe that gives us a leg up on our competition. But we work with companies whose websites are hosted at Amazon, We're generating leads and sales, agnostic to the technology.
So if they're competent, they know how to play.
So the bridge is, we're generating leads over here. Those leads are coming into some kind of sales process and people. How are those leads being handled? How quickly they're being handled? What's the first step? What's step number 2? Step number 3? Tracking those numbers by group, by individual. So it's really I'm not sure if I'm answering your question or not, because I know you're into, project and steps and things like that. But it's a matter of generating the lead and then how that lead is handled. So in some cases, there's a CRM, which is the kind of the critical platform to track all activity. In some cases, there's not. But our strategy is always to bring the sales and marketing groups together and make it one entity, or manage it like it's one entity, or lead it like it's one entity, rather than, the lead gets thrown over the wall and they talk to each other. I think that's a bad way to go. We do a couple things. We do events like this, which we're so fortunate to have the opportunity to do events like this. Okay. We have a telemarketer who's calling our suspects every day to try to get in front of them. We do a reasonable amount of networking. We have a fairly large email database that we ping in a non-intrusive way every so often. So those are the outbound things. That's how we manage the outbound side.